Today, I'm going to show you how to install this CURT 13105 Class 3 trailer hitch onto your Sienna. For some reason, it's really cheap on Amazon, $160. But if you go to CURT website, it's actually $300. I don't know why there's such a huge difference, but it's there. Same exact model number, but pricier. And if you go down a little bit, you'll see the specification for it. It is compatible for all Siennas from 2011 all the way through 2020. And it really doesn't matter what style as well. Myself, I think I'm driving an LE model. Since I'm a tech person, I've never done anything with automobiles, so I actually look up the instruction on how to do it from this guy. But as you see in my video, things are a little bit different because I don't have a garage. I don't have all of the professional equipment, so we're just going to wing it with whatever we have. The first thing you'll need to do is lift the car up, the back end up. At first I tried this jack, but it's really awkward because one side goes up and the other side is still down. So the next best thing is get these ramps from Walmart for about $50. They're made out of plastic, super lightweight, and should be good enough. And because the ramp is made out of plastic, I didn't feel really safe, so I got this jack as well. There's one on this side and there's another one on this side. It feels safe enough, but honestly, I prefer these 2x4s. These 2x4s are from scrap woods from a recent project that I no longer use, so I just cut them up. The length of them is about 16 inches, so I just crisscross them over and over again and lay them up. Here you can see it's missing about 2 inches, but that's good enough. If the ramp ever collapses, it'll collapse on this 2x4 and it should hold the car in place for me to escape. Once the rear of the Sienna is on the ramp, go ahead and take a peek under. You'll want to cut a rectangular shape. So from here to here, the width is 5 inches, and for the length, it should be about 13 inches. Here you can see that I messed up because I looked at that video and it didn't give me any dimensions whatsoever, and it didn't really give me any reference point for me to cut into. So if you're looking at my video, you should be more on point. This is my first cut, and I realized I messed up once I couldn't get the hitch in. I had to cut more towards the left-hand side. So hopefully you're watching this video and it helps you with your alignments and your cuts. After cutting through, you should see 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. You only care about 3 holes. And these 3 holes are covered up with stickers. So grab yourself a flathead and go ahead and scrape the stickers off for these 3. Don't even bother touching this because it's plastic and you don't need to touch it. Now to actually cut the hole, you don't need to release any of these screws. In the video, you can see that it releases these 2 screws, 1 and 2. But because I was using a Dremel, I was able to cut through using the metal cutoff disc. You don't have to slide the blade of the Dremel all the way in. It only needs to go in about 1/8 of an inch. After all, this is just plastic you're cutting through, not metal. And here's the Dremel that I used to cut the plastic covering. For the blade, I used whatever that was included into the kit. And this is it right here. Let's go on over to the right-hand side where the muffler is located. You can immediately see 4 black circles. And again, use the flathead to scrape only 3 of the holes. 1, 2, and then 3. In the video, they'll tell you to remove this muffler, but I didn't do that because I couldn't. I don't have the tool to do that. And even if you could remove the muffler from this rubbery holder thing, it's going to be a real pain to get the muffler back into its position. So what I ended up doing was using a piece of rope, a very thin piece of rope, tie it around the muffler right here, have a friend pull it away towards the right hand side to get it away from the holes. Now this hitch is extremely heavy, maybe like 50 pounds. There's no way you can be underneath the car and lifting it up and screwing it in at the same time. It's just not possible. So what I ended up doing was using a 5-gallon bucket, I think, and then a toolbox, and then later on 2x4s to lift this hitch up pressed tight against the Sienna. This is the final hole on the left hand side. As you can see, I made some additional cuts so that I can easily tighten the bolts. The bolts themselves are extremely precise, meaning if you're off by 1/16 or maybe even 1/32 inches, there's no way for you to insert the bolts into that hole. Just impossible. So before, with the holes being small, I was coming in at an angle, and coming in at an angle did not help me align the bolts into that hole at all. That's why I had to make additional cuts so that my tool can go straight in, as well as the bolts going in straight into that hole. So you can actually see my mistake. Based on this image, you can see where you should make your cuts. It should be more to the left and you'll be fine. On the right hand side where the muffler is located, and here on the muffler side, the right hand side, you can see the 3 bolts going in. There's absolutely nothing for you to cut. You just need to move the muffler a little bit out of the way. When you buy the hitch, of course they'll give you the hitch as well as the 6 bolts and the washer. On the washer, make sure that the teeth is facing towards the frame of the Sienna. So look at the bottom, you can see that the washer is perfectly smooth. I used a normal wrench to hand tighten it, but of course it was only about 10 inches. So in order to make sure that this thing is super tight, I extended it using a metal rod. This metal rod will let me extend it all the way to 30 inches. And that's enough to tighten all of the bolts down. It would be nice if I have one of those torque meter wrench, but because I don't work on my cars that much, I don't need to. And ta-da! This is what it looks like once it's all set and done. It is highly recommended that you cover up this hole to prevent rust. So this is what I bought for $6. It will do the job. Alright, hopefully this video helps you on how to install a hitch onto your Sienna. I really appreciate you guys subscribing to my channel, liking the video, and thanks for watching.